All right. Good evening. Welcome to the Marion City Municipal Council Committee of the Whole meeting. This will be a very brief meeting. After this meeting, we will go right into the RDA meeting over in the council chambers. And then we will have a break at 6:15, and then we will go into a council meeting at 6:30. Also, which should not be terribly long, I don't believe. But, I'm Gary Harekasi, Chair of the Council. I'll be conducting the meeting tonight here at Murray City Hall in the Poplar Meeting Room. All council members are present except for Councilwoman Dominguez, who has been excused for the meeting. Welcome, everyone. I will start out with approval of the minutes for Committee of the Whole, September 19th, 2023. Are there any changes to the meeting minutes?
No.
All in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
Do I need to take a motion? Sorry, can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Yes, it was. Okay, we will move on to discussion items. The first item is a discussion on a resolution approving the mayor's appointments to the Salt Lake County Justice Court Nominating Commission, and we have Mayor Hale presenting. Well, I was like, am I misreading it or something? No. I gotta keep up.
Okay, it's just a simple thing that, it's the Justice Court nomination for our judge. And, I'm gonna ask that we appoint, GL Critchfield and Karen Gallegos, who is, over at Forks, who serve on it.
And is it just those two on the commission, or are there others?
It's five total.
Five total.
Who makes up the other three?
So I believe it's the county mayor. There's a representative from the county bar. And then the mayors, all the mayors get together and approve somebody.
And the county bar is not the ice house. It's.
Thank you for the clarification.
I believe there are five.
Yeah, they're.
And after that point, if I recall, how long is the process?
And then in January, February, I mean, it's a few months.
Okay.
So it starts in November.
Yeah, these guys will start doing that.
And how often does it meet?
Yeah, I don't think we know yet.
No, the process is not.
They're hoping to choose, have the judge chosen, which ultimately would come to you by April.
So it's
Wow.
he's not 75 until June?
May, yeah.
She's not gonna let me get an extra month out of that.
Well, this is basically the interview panel. So we don't know yet how many people have applied. I
Did you-
reached out to try
you
to
didn't get
find
an
out,
answer.
but I didn't hear back.
Hardly anything so far. We don't know now, but a few weeks ago, I'll just tell you zero.
So they'll do it in one sitting likely, and then recommend up to 5 to the mayor.
Good.
All right. Any further questions from the council?
What mayors? Is it a group of mayors?
No, just a couple people, Jenny will be on it,
Uh-huh.
those two, and then the other two come from, I don't know if it's the state?
So all the mayors in the county.
Oh, all the
appoint-
mayors in
I'm
the
sorry,
county?
but not on
Right.
the committee.
Right.
Oh.
They will appoint one person
Yes.
for the.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they'll pick more than that. They'll pick, how many will they pick?
So you get one selection for the committee.
So there'll be, I wanna say there'll be five,
Yes.
and then we'll pick out of the five. So there'll be five presented.
Hopefully.
Well, yeah.
You get that.
We're putting two things together.
Yeah, sorry about that. I
I'm
didn't-
following. So she was talking about the makeup of the committee.
Okay.
Will be the mayors will get together and appoint one of those 5 seats, or the committee that chooses the judge.
So they will choose a mayor. At COM, they will choose a mayor in addition to our two.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking about. They don't choose our mayor. I meant our judge, sorry, I said mayor, I meant our judge. They don't choose our judge, yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Confused you a little bit? So the process will take until, well, I say March or April.
Moving on to the second item, it's the ULCT annual convention report. So we were up at the ULCT annual convention, just a bit. So 3 of us went, and so David, do you want to lead off?
Yeah,
with
I
your
can get
report,
started.
please?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the conference. It was fun. I, in my professional capacity, was able to go to the APA conference a few weeks later, and there's a little bit of overlap there, but it was really cool. So something that I really appreciated is the keynote speaker was basically about the missing middle housing, about how we have apartments, we have single-family homes, and there's not quite as much in between. And so that priority of, if we want to make housing more affordable, building a variety of housing types was kind of something that I enjoyed. I went to another panel about parking, which is a hot topic that everyone loves to talk about. It was 2 different presentations. One was from Ogden City, one was from Clearfield City, about how they've looked at their parking standards, kind of seen how throughout the city what their standards are, how they want to change them, different things like that. So I thought that was super interesting. And then another panel that I went to was about downtowns, which I felt was appropriate with Murray as we're looking at our downtown area here. It talked about Fairborn Station over in West Valley, as well as Mill Creek Commons that Mill Creek has done, and just kind of the strategies they looked at, how they took those projects just from like the concept through the completion, and I thought it was good. It was interesting to hear from the different city managers and things how they were able to take an idea into something that was fully developed. So that's kind of my report.
All right. Jennifer, did you want to give a report?
Yeah, so sometimes in these conferences, especially with ULCT, my classes I go to are a little different than theirs, as I'm kind of over the administration of the council. So some of the classes that I always like to go to is the powers and duties of the council, which is a good reminder for me, a good refresher for you guys. So when you have questions, you can come to me, and I always think that's interesting. I also went to a class on public service and ethics, which I thought was very interesting, and there were like 10 of us there at a whole conference, which I thought was a little bit sad.
Jennifer, who presented on the powers and duties?
It's their current attorney. I don't think I have his name. It's different than it used to be.
He was
Todd
Godfrey.
Godfrey. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
who did it used to be? What was the fellow? He was so entertaining.
Roger too, yeah.
No,
Wasn't Gary Crane, was it?
You know who I mean.
I know
David
his name would
Church
come
was
to me
there, but
too,
then they had
Pops.
somebody else.
He retired.
Yeah,
He just
it
retired.
wasn't David Church. I mean, David Church was there.
David Church, it was David. That's who she's,
It's very good.
Very
It's interesting.
Murray guy. Do you know that? Grew up here in Murray.
And then, just like David said, the missing middle, they focused on that as well, was another big thing we learned about in the conference. And based on my last LPC meeting, both of those are also being addressed at the legislature right now, so.
Very heavily.
Yeah, and that's my report.
In fact, they talked about how it's gonna, the middle income house would be 450,000.
Sure. I can't imagine that's what
like,
it is.
See how that is.
Councilwoman Cox?
How I took it a different spin on it. I got really a lot of information from Todd Godfrey and the governor and this incredible woman, Laura Ling. They both had the common thread is getting along with people that we are working with, or like Governor Cox, he is on the commission with the governor of Denver. And he's the chairman of the National Governor Association, and his comment was disagreeing better without hating each other. And then Laura Ling, which is really interesting because my youngest daughter's name is Laura, and her sister is Lisa, who's my oldest daughter is Lisa. And I read her book before I went to the conference, and she was with her journalist friends, two other people. She was kidnapped in North Korea, and they were in China, and their guide kind of walked them across the border of North Korea, and she was taken, and she was in prison, and she had to get along with her guards, even though they dressed differently and they talked differently. She was making friends with them, and it took an interesting turn to get them out of there. It took Bill Clinton to get them out, and it's really interesting how you can make something that you do today could have an impact later on in life. And they offered Al Gore, and a couple other people, and Kim Jong-il said, no, I want President Clinton to come. And it says, in her book, it says, the president also told us one of the reasons why he thought Kim was so intent on having him make the trip. He said that during their meeting, Kim told him how much he had appreciated the phone call Clinton made to him to express his condolence when his father, Kim Il-sung, passed away in July 1994. According to Clinton, Kim told him, "You were the first one to call me, even before any of my allies, and I've always remembered that." And when Kim arrived to greet President Clinton, the first thing he said with great passion and confidence was, "I've always wanted to meet you." So I just thought that the things that we do today will have an impact and later on in the future. So that, yeah, there was a lot, but meeting her and listening to Governor Cox and Todd Godfrey, they all had the same comments.
And then for me, I mean, I went back to the policy thing, so, I mean, the housing, that was kind of the common thread through many of the meetings, whether it was talking about the Olene Walker Housing Fund, what we do with the homelessness, situation. I thought though, that, you know, it's interesting because you see what Salt Lake City has done and how they've utilized that, and it's just the armies that they have of resources to be able to utilize those things. I think it's a lot of, you know, it's a challenge in how we can right size with our size of city to be able to take part in some of these, because I think about the middle, housing in the middle, and you know, we can talk about the townhomes, right? But the townhomes going into RC Willey are probably gonna $650,000 to $750,000. That's not exactly middle. We think about it, so it's a challenge that I think is gonna plague us for a while here. The other thing that I participated in was priority budgeting. I found that interesting. Riverton has taken on a priority budgeting approach where they've cut a lot of things out that are not they came up with these priorities and then they determined what in their budget fit into those priorities and cut everything else. And it was an interesting concept to do it. Now here in Murray, the challenge is we kind of do everything, right? And so it's a little different situation, but that's how they approached it and attacked it. So it was interesting to me. Mayor, did you want to say anything? You were also there.
I would love it, I'll tell you. Laura Lane was probably
Yeah.
she just was amazing. I thought, what I remembered most is when she said, my sister said, let's get Bill Clinton. And she said, she said, let's get Bill Clinton to her sister. And she was, why? I thought, Bill Clinton, she goes, I can't even tell you why, it just came to my mind.
Yeah.
Had no clue that he had some relationship to the North Korean leader, but all of a sudden that opened up doors. And I loved, like you said, Pam, when she said, she didn't come in with any agenda. There was zero agenda, and you could tell why. She was so appreciative to be back on American soil.
Yeah.
That she was so thankful to be back, because she thought she'd never return. And like you said, the guards there were mean and beat you up, and you were women guards, and she said, I don't know why, but this one, her and I became friends.
Yeah.
And that saved me immensely. And so anyway, it was impressive. I went to a couple others that were great, but I thought that probably was one of my favorites too. I love that.
Yeah.
And we got a picture with her.
We did.
I was impressed. She's great.
Well, and I appreciate the kind of the thread that you pulled on there, because especially with everything that is transpiring right now across the world.
Yes.
The images that we're seeing out of Israel and the Gaza Strip and that area, I think, remind us all how lucky and blessed we are of where we live, and also just that we never want that kind of inflammation or inflammatory situation to happen here.
Yeah.
And so we need to, you know, as our Miss Murray said, kindness. Let's focus on kindness. And I found that's her focus, and treating others kindly, I think is.
I said to Cindy the other day, I said, I feel like I'm stressed watching this. And I'm thinking, how do those people feel that are there?
Well, in fact, when we got home on Monday, we were on the bus heading to get our car, and there was a family on the bus that had just gotten out of Tel Aviv, and they were right in the middle of it, and they were discussing some of the things they were seeing as people were approaching the hotels trying to get Americans, and it was pretty scary. So I can't imagine what these people went through. But with that, it is time for us to adjourn this meeting and move on to RDA.
Thank you.